Stone? Please. Okay, Siman Shinches, Seif Mem Beis. Davashu Muktzah, anything that's Muktzah, Muta Ligaboy. Muktzah, you're allowed to touch. Lavashla Minaneya, Afilu Miktsasai, Ukvar Nispar, Reish Simanzeh. So, anything that's Muktzah, we spoke about before, you're allowed to touch Muktzah. The Issa Muktzah is tiltul Muktzah, to move it. And I'm not sure who these brackets are, and it says Ukvar Nispar, Reish Simanzeh. And the Taz argues on that. Because the Taz says, Pirish the B'Shum Tzar Balachayim Mutter, so, I'm not sure what the brackets are, but this halacha is coming from the past halacha that it said, that we learned last week, that Muktzah, you're not allowed to be metaltal, even Miktzasa. Even part of Muktzah, you're not allowed to be metaltal. So, in the Mechaber says, it's coming off the last Seif that we learned, that by Balachayim, only as Tzar Balachayim, you have a heter to move Balachayim Miktzasai. But not because of Tzar Balachayim, like we spoke last week, to pet the dog and move the hair of it, is also because Miktzasai is also. You're not going to move even Miktzasai, but if you're not moving it, touching Muktzah, using Muktzah is mutter. It's a cloud, it's a mistake that people make, that you're not allowed to touch Muktzah, you're not allowed to use Muktzah, you're allowed to use Muktzah, you're allowed to touch Muktzah. You're not going to move Muktzah.
What if you touch your pet, but by the touching action it moves?
Well, that's also. That's
so then you
moving
can't
with
touch
also.
it, because
Correct.
there will always be the chance.
Correct, unless it's Tzar Balachayim. Yes, people should stay away from touching your pets on Shabbos.
So the Taz is not arguing.
It says over here, I'm not sure about it.
I think there's two different halachas here. He's saying the Taz is basically saying if you're going to talk about Miktzasai, go back to halacha then.
So he means is
talking about
okay,
and if you're talking about being
touching,
right,
touching, and
touching, then go back to halacha.
Could be. It says pirish. Pirish.
Right.
He's explaining it.
Right.
We asked before you're allowed to put a clee over things,
right?
But not an egg. But if you put a clee over an egg, as long as the inside of it doesn't touch the egg,
because you're going to move it.
Because it might move.
Yeah,
right.
it might move. Yeah.
It's similar to like dogs. It's
right, because it might move. Yeah. Anything that might move is a problem.
You said something perhaps close to a year ago that let's say you have a dryer and you want the door of the dryer to get something inside the dryer.
Right.
You said something about the fact that the main component of the dryer
is Muktzah.
Yeah, but the door somehow, would that be mutter?
The question is, why is it Muktzah?
That's halacha gimel. That's halacha gimel. You have a large object and you touch the door.
No, but here's not a problem. A large object. Here's the problem is the dryer is a klishim lachal. A cabinet is something else. A cabinet is not Muktzah. You can't move it because a large object they can't move doesn't make a Muktzah that we had.
That's on the door, right?
But the dryer, the problem is a klishim lachal.
Right, but can you touch a dryer?
You can touch a dryer.
That's halacha gimel. Can you touch the dryer?
Why can't you touch it? Yeah, you touch it as much because
you
gotta move it.
Right.
But to open the door, if you need something from inside,
but it does move it.
It's sarif kufay mukaymoy. If you need something from inside.
A car. If it wasn't for the light inside, you could open the car door.
Why not open the car door?
I'm sorry.
Why you let open? It's muktzah. Car's muktzah on Shabbos.
Because you need obviously.
Because sarif kufay sarif mukaymoy. Because you need something from inside, so you're moving the car door to Tzarech Mekaymoy. Yeah, but only because you're moving on Tzarech Mekaymoy. But if not for that, it would be also to move it. It's Muktzah. It is Muktzah. Car door is Muktzah. Dryer door is Muktzah. These are Klisha Malachta L'Isser.
But you can lean on a car.
But that's a problem. It's a car leaning on a car. Moving it is not called moving a Miktzasa.
Same as a fridge door.
Same
as a fridge door.
No, a fridge is not Klisha Malachta L'Isser. Fridge is not Klisha Malachta L'Isser.
He is moving? No.
Yeah, so the question is, moving the car and the car moves up and down a little bit, is that called Menanei Miktzasai? So it could be it is. It could be it's called moving Miktzasai, and you're not letting move Miktzas Muktzah.
Well, not only that, but you could set the car alarm off.
Yeah, that's sure, that's right. Yeah. So that's a klal. Muktzah, you let to move, you let to touch, you let to use it, but you're not letting to move it. Seif Mem Gimel, Mutal Taltu, Muktzah Yidei Neficha. This also we had before already. You're allowed to blow muktzah. And the reason for that is because blowing it is not called tiltal. But Issa of Muktzah, we spoke at the beginning of the Siman, is an Issa of tiltal, moving it. Blowing it is not called tiltal. Tiltal means you're moving it with your hands. That's why we had the whole shada about moving it with your foot. Is that called, is a mutter or not? It's not called tiltal. Anytime it's not called moving it, the way you usually move it, there's no Issa of tiltal muktzah.
So something that usually do blow, that is the normal way to
Right,
move it.
that'll be asr. Right, so it's darker b'kach will be asr. Same thing with your foot. That was no shada with the foot. If it's darker b'kach to move it with your foot, then it could be it's asr.
Yeah, let's say it's dusty.
Yeah, of course it's dust muktzah. It probably is.
Dust muktzah?
Probably, there's no tashmish at all.
If you have a dusty area, you want to sit there maybe and learn or something like that. Could you? Is that? Yeah, but
There's dust muktzah. Dust should be muktzah.
It's not maslupo, so you wouldn't be able to even move it for.
You do kalachayad. Interesting question.
So normally you would blow, so you could do it.
Interesting question. You take a Seif from your shelf. Every use you want to blow off the dust on the top.
There's no dust on this one.
An old one.
What's the halacha? Interesting question. You're not to blow it because it could be a dust that's
What's it called?
Interesting question. It's neficha. You're blowing it, but it's not kibakach.
But you're not moving the neficha.
Yeah, you're moving the dust on top of the Seif. You're blowing it off.
Yeah.
Interesting question. I don't know. Okay, Siv Mem Daled. Kli shenisrei a kli that got ruined, it got weak. So it means it got damaged. It's bad. Lo yitlu b'menu cheres lechasas boy, a lismach boy. You know, I'll take off a piece of it to go ahead and to cover a kli. Now, what's the issur over here? So here the problem is, if you look into Levushei Srod, Levushei Srod writes over here. You have the Levushei Srod?
Yeah.
Okay, and Sif Mem Dal. Vayitlu b'menu cheres. Why not? Why can't you take a piece of cheres, a piece of clay from the kli? The misaken oisei the kli v'hava makba patish. By taking it off, we're talking about here. We'll see soon. The upshot that the kli broke and has a piece lying that you want to use the piece. We're talking about that the piece is weak and you're breaking off a piece. By breaking it off, now you're making it that it's possible to be mechased by a kli. That's called makba patish. So look what he says. V'loshem v'yitlu shekosem b'shechan narach eini meduktik. V'loshem Rambam huva b'ysesev lo yachtoich mimenu. You shouldn't cut off a piece. Just to take a piece that's broken already is mutter. To break off a piece, that's when you'll have an issue, because then you're making it into a kli. Behind the b'maisa chaticha have a makeh b'patish. Huadin in kvar nofal acheres elishu misakne lahate b'litasav. If the piece of cheres fell off already, but you're smoothing it, the piece. Also, the uktzad and it's the pieces that are sticking out and the sharp parts of it. Shaboy have a gamke makeh b'patish. Avalikach hacheresh anishba ma'akli ulchasas by mona b'li shum tikun vaday shari. If the kli broke and now you have a piece lying there, you want to take that piece and use it. You're not doing anything. You're not makeh b'patish. All you're doing is picking up a broken piece, and it's roy to cover a kli. Only if you're breaking it off.
If it fits.
Fits, yeah. If it doesn't fit and you do it, if you shape it that it should fit, it'll be awesome. That would be called makeh b'patish. As long as you're just taking it off and not doing anything to it, then it's mutter. Okay, see.
So he's learning that there's an. So what is this clay? It's not completely broken yet, the piece, because we've already said that's mutter, right?
Right.
And this idea of breaking it off, it means
Right.
that what? That it was partially
It was
broken?
already
Right, yeah.
broken. It was already
Let's say it felt that it broke and it's not detached, right?
Right.
So you have to break off the piece, totally detach it, and now you can use it. Chasas voice a kli.
So it's interesting because I think Mishnah Bird used the term misakin kli for this.
Yeah, you're making this
You
piece.
could understand that. I mean, misakin kli.
You're
I
not
mean, if
fixing
anything,
a broken kli, you're making a brand new kli.
Yeah, that kli, the misakin kli is not the broken kli.
Yeah.
The misakin kli is the piece that you're breaking off.
Yeah.
on the new piece.
The new piece they're breaking off, you're making that into a kli.
On the
Yeah, the other kli is broken.
The Mashal is confusing.
But yeah.
Why? Let's say Mishmur inside.
That's very, because he's talking about a tikkun kli,
But
which
Yitlu Mimenu.
which Yisrael makes sense. That's the makav patish.
Yeah, he's basically, I think he's coming from the Lush Esra, the Mishmur.
He is, because you can see it, what he's saying now. Now I understand it.
But Yitlu Mimenu, Ratzalai Mishla Yitlosh Mimenu, the B'maisa HaTalisha, by taking it off, who b'chalal tikkun kli. The piece itself is becoming a tikkun kli.
Right, but the way he phrases it, the b'maisa hatalisha, is mashma, he's breaking up the breaking off of the piece.
Is making it into a kli. That broken piece now, the piece that you're breaking off, now you could cover a different kli with it.
So that's,
You're breaking off of something that's
a broken kli, but that piece that you're breaking off, now that piece you're using to cover a kli.
right. Yeah. But we were thinking of the kli from which it came.
No, that's broken. That's gone.
Well, unless if you actually take off that broken part, and then you can use the remaining part to use as a kli.
Then for sure be also, yeah, also be also. Yeah, if
thing.
I'm breaking it off, you're fixing the other kli, but that's not the case talking about over here.
Right.
Here we're talking about the broken piece that you're taking off. That piece is becoming a kli now because you could use it to cover something. Till now you couldn't; it was too big.
It's not attached to the original kli. You're talking about just the piece now that's on.
No, if that piece itself is roy to cover a different kli,
right?
Without you doing anything to it, then you're not doing anything. That's what it says.
So what are you doing? You're
breaking it off. It's kli broken. It's still attached a little bit.
It's still attached.
Yeah, by taking it off, by detaching it totally from the kli. Now you're making that broken piece into a kli.
Your name, Shem, give it a new Shem.
Yeah, give it a new Shem. Now you could use it for something.
You're not taking the broken part and making it to size.
That would also be a problem. That's it. The Lush says two things. One thing, you're breaking it off is a problem, and even if it's broken off, if you're taking away the belitos,
right.
That means it's smoothing
it. And now you want to cover your jar.
Right. So by taking off the sharp edge, that's also a problem.
That's going to be the makav patish.
That's also both of them.
That I understood.
Yeah. The other part is taking it off.
The sheets they bring down like a halacha ma'isa case where it mentions those cheap plastic forks you sometimes get, like kiddishes and stuff like that.
Right.
Sometimes they have little leafos on the edges of little pieces of plastic that are like sharp and like they would cut you if you use them.
And you break it off.
You break them off.
That's makav patish.
Just so you can nicely use the fork. That would be this.
That's a makav patish, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. In the Haram. Yeah. The makav patish because you're making the fork now usable. Till now the fork wasn't usable.
No, fork was usable, but
nicely usable, or easily usable, or making it better, making it more convenient.
Yes.
That's all called.
That's makav patish.
That's dangerous.
Any tikkun kli, even though. Yeah.
It doesn't have to
You're asking if it was called a kli beforehand. You're saying if it was called a kli before, you make it better.
Now it's a better form.
It's
Right.
more usable now.
Yes, it's also a problem. It's also makav patish.
It's a good tikkun kli. Basically, it's because you're doing basically a tikkun.
Yes, you're making a tikkun kli. Yeah. Tikkun kli doesn't have to be that the kli was not usable at all, and now you're making it usable. Even if it was usable a little bit, you're making it more usable. It's still a problem of tikkun kli. Yes, we find that. Especially if the fork is hard to use because there's sharp edges to it, then for sure it's a problem. Okay, Seif Memhei. Also, this is like the Shabbos, the Yom Tov. You're not allowed to play on Shabbos, the Yom Tov, the Kader with the bowl, Hagah, V'yesh Matirim, V'noagul Hakal. Some people are Mekel, and V'noagul Hakal, we are Mekel that you could use it on Shabbos. Now let's see the Magen Avraham first, then we'll get into the reasoning here. Hakadur, v'asur l'taltol, hakadur, you're not allowed to move, you're not allowed to be metaltol, a ball on Shabbos, to be machshavtoi, le'mashvilei kli. With your machshava, you cannot make it into a kli. Now, the Magen Avraham is very clear that, and we'll see in the Mishnah Berurah in a second, that the isser of using a ball on Shabbos is that we had before that a machshava, to make something into a kli, has to be a usage. A usage that you use it for. To play with something, the first sheet in the Mechaber holds, playing is not called a usage. Playing, setting aside something just to play, is not called a usage. If If you look in the Mishnah Berurah over here, it says it also. Kofnun Zion, the Kader, Beinim Hishal Niyar, Ishal Eitz, whether it's from paper or from wood. She'ain Shem Kli Olav. You cannot get a Shem Kli, Machma Sharoi Lischak Boy, because you're playing with it. Playing with something is not called an ishtamshus in order to make it into a Kli. It's not chashiv enough. In order to make something into a Kli, it has to have a chashivus. Playing with something, setting it aside to play with it, is not called a chashivus. You're not allowed to move it. V'yesh matirim, why? Since it's meant to use it constantly, you set it aside for that. So here the machlokes is basically is setting aside something for playing, called making it into a kli. Give it a chashivus of a kli. That's the machlokes. The mechaber holds that it's not good enough, and the Ramah holds since you use it constantly for that, so it's good enough. That's the machlokes.
Is it actually a machlokas? Because the fact of the matter is that it may be something that for example, to take the bulls.
Okay,
so if you talk about Eitz and Eben, that's in those days.
Right. So the machlokas was definitely in those days.
Right.
The machlokas, the mechaber, and the Ramah was definitely in those days. I don't think anybody's going to say. Most of the poskim today say any bowl that you have today, you can't say that setting something aside for playing is not chashuv. Because there's billion-dollar industries out there of making toys, right? Toys are all meant to play. Any toy that's made is meant just to play. Kids' toys, right? It's meant just to play with.
Right.
So you can't say today that it's not a davar chashuv and it doesn't become a kli because you made it just for playing. So most of the places, I think about all the places can hold today that a ball is not muktzah.
But if you took like something
So yes,
like
makilim then.
that wasn't a
right.
toy.
Correct. It wasn't made a toy.
Maybe or
right.
maybe it wasn't meant to play.
Correct.
Put that aside to play. That's what he's talking about.
That could be his muktzah. Correct. The famous question is, in it's a show they play with the apricot bits.
Yeah.
Right. So the question is, they become not muktzah when the kids set it aside to play with it.
Yeah.
That's a shayla. That'll be machlokes mechaber and the Ramah.
Well, there, I think it says in the notes, it's another issue, and that is whether a kid's machshava.
Right, a kid's machshava. Right. It's also that's a shayla. Most of the poskim don't learn over it. The problem is the kid's machshava, because even if a parent puts it aside for a toy, is machshava from the mechaber, it won't be good enough. Right? The mechaber doesn't say because the kid puts it away. Right? Even if a parent puts it away for the kid to play with, it could be it's a machlokes. So that's a shayla with the apricot pits. If it's called. That's a typical case of setting it aside just for playing. It's not meant for that, but the kids set it aside for playing. So it could be according to the mechaber, it'll still be muktzah. You don't have to stop the kids from playing with it, but for an adult to move it, it could be it's muktzah. The same thing with bottle caps. Kids play with the bottle caps. And they still do it anymore, but they used to play with the bottle caps. They become it's muktzah because of it.
And when we were kids, every Shabbos, down in the basement, we take a paper cup and crush it up
and make it into a ball.
Make it into a soccer ball. Yeah. So that was awesome.
Right. Yeah, they don't stop kids from doing it.
Yeah.
But no, according to the Ramah, it's mutter.
But even if you're creating, because it wasn't before.
But you're creating it on Shabbos. Yeah. Yeah, you're crushing a cup. It was a cup before Shabbos. Yeah, it could be it's mutter.
Well, you have to book.
Yeah, with kids, you don't stop from playing. Right, so according to come at today's balls l'chayra is not muktzah, and you're allowed to move them around. Let's see the Magen Avram, Sifkat 9 Gimel, V'yesh Matirin, V'ashach Chosav, the Taisvis l'kas v'lahata el b'yamtiv. Shach writes that the Taisvis writes that the only heter to use a ball is on yamtiv. Even the yesh by tzarich tzas, because there is some type of tzarich, or mina mitoich shehutra l'tzarich, hutra nami shaloi l'tzarich. So there's a heter to use it on Yom Tov because of mitoich, which is the heter on Yom Tov. Aval loy b'Shabbos v'duk ad kan l'shoynot. The linear says the Magen Avram, to learn mina mitoich ela b'isrei tzah. This mitoich means since it's mutter to use for one thing, you're not using it for something else also. That's only for carrying. Issa tiltal Shabbos v'Yom Tov shavin. So the Magen Avram argues on the Shach, and says this that the Shach says the heter only on Yom Tov is not true, because Yom Tov, the only thing that's more kal on Yom Tov over Shabbos is haitzah, is carrying. But muktzah, if anything, Yom Tov is worse than Shabbos. So says the Magen Avram, va'adirav yesh aimed the muktzah also b'Yom Tov.
Cooking for sure.
Yeah, cooking.
I'm not talking about cooking. Cooking, but yeah, cooking you're right. Here we're not talking about cooking.
Yeah, but he says the only
mitzvah. It's by itzah, and it means cooking also. Yeah, but it means not tiltal. Not tiltal, not muktzah.
Okay, because in the Lashon it seems like this.
Yeah. You have it for cooking also. We meant itzah, not tiltal here. That's what it means here. Here we're talking about tiltal. You've been taltal the muktzah. You don't say mitoich on tiltal. You say mitoich on itzah.
He words it like this, I think, because tiltal and hatzah are kind of like
the same thing, yeah.
They
come together
in many ways.
I could be told. So tiltal comes from itzah.
He doesn't mean to exclude.
No, I don't think he means to exclude bishul. No.
Right.
But I mean, I know we're learning muktzah, not this, but I mean that's a big chiddush, no? To say that, I mean, the Gemara talks about mitoich through in all other ones, and then it has to go to the next level of is it davar shavu l'chol nefesh?
Yeah, but not by tiltal. That's what we're saying.
But it could be by other things.
So I think here it means itzah, not tiltal. I don't think it means everything. I don't think it means only itzah, not anything else. You can't mean that because it's the same type of other things also. He has to mean, he doesn't mean nothing else. It can't mean nothing else because there is type for other things.
Okay, on the
Okay. If you're allowed to be metaltal a ball on Yom Tov, kavachayim v'Shabbos. The Yom Tov shari, the heter of Yom Tov is more than Shabbos because afilu b'shus rabim. Al b'Shabbos also b'shus rabim. You're not allowed to be metaltal in the b'shus rabim because the Shabbos is in this haitzah. We have Shlomo Kosav the Gamma Taisus Havid the Medina also litzchayk el l'shenag v'l'hakel. The Shlomo says also that Taisus holds Medina you're not allowed to use a ball on Shabbos. El Shanag the Hakol the minig was to be makel. You should be able to metaltal it for a different reason because you can use it to cover your bottle. To say it's mutter to metaltal this bowl because you could use it for something else, says the Magen Avram, you can't because it is dirty and you won't use it for anything else. So learning the Mechaber and the Magen Avram comes out that a bowl you're allowed to, it's not muktzah on Shabbos, you're allowed to be metaltal it on Shabbos. The Mishnah Berurah brings down over here. If you look in the Mishnah Berurah over here, we left off in the middle of Kuf Nun Ches.
Yes, Matiyah.
In Mekomok and Mekula Alma also litzchak b'shus rabim. You can't play in b'shus rabim. Afilu b'karbelis b'Shabbos. The Bekal hu sheyipol l'chutz medal daramis v'asal asuyei. Ab Yom Tov mutter afilu b'shus rabim litzchak boil de'ezu. Now, if you come out from the Mechaber and the Ramah and the Magen Avram, the Shabura, a ball is mutter today, especially that to set aside for that usage. There shouldn't be any issur to use a ball on Shabbos to play with it. Tucker isn't. Playing ball is something else. That's a whole different shayla. Ball is not muktzah, you can move it. The kid wants to play with it, something else. But playing ball is a whole different shayla. And there's a Yerushalmi that the Beis Yosef brings down that there was there was a seed that was nechra, that was destroyed because people played ball on Shabbos. That's what the Yerushalmi brings down. The question is what he means.
You mean playing a game?
Yeah.
Like baseball,
football. So that's a shayla. What does the Yerushalmi mean? The Yerushalmi says there was a city that was destroyed in Yerushalayim because people played ball on Shabbos. And most of the places we learn what it means is that they played a game. They made a whole thing out of it. And there was a Zilzal Shabbos. To go make a whole game on Shabbos is a Zilzal Shabbos. There's a few problems. First of all, Zilzal Shabbos. And the second problem is we had learned already that to go running around on Shabbos is not so partial that it's mutter. or jogging on Shabbos, all these things is exercising. That's a pasha that's mutar on Shabbos. Yeah, that's a pasha that's mutar on Shabbos. So when you have these games on Shabbos, then there may not be an isser to do it, but there's something called, even dvarim hamutarim sometimes are also to do. Even though it's mutar, you can't find an isser to make a baseball game on Shabbos, but definitely it's not something that should be done. And the person said that's the Yerushalmi. When the Yerushalmi says there was an ear that was nechrav, is when they made a whole game out of it, and they played ball on Shabbos, and it was a zilzul for Shabbos. That's what the Yerushalmi says. So you want a person is playing with this kid a little ball, no isser. But to make the whole thing out of it,
brings down that there was a ear that was destroyed.
Yeah, nechrav because they're playing ball.
Yeah, I think in Sanet.
Yeah, Yerushalmi brings down. Yeah.
So how do we pass on this?
So there's no psak. If you ask what the psak is, halacha l'maisa, there's no isser. If it's the right thing to do, pasha is not the right thing to do. Pasha is not the right thing to do. Where a person draws his limits, that's everyone's. That's up to everyone to decide. Just having a catch with a kid on Shabbos. I'll tell you the truth. I never saw ball being played on Shabbos until I moved to Toronto. I never knew. I never knew there was such a Muslim. No, I grew up in Bungle colonies, camps. Shabbos? Never saw anybody playing ball on Shabbos. I never saw it. I came to Toronto first of all, so I walked by the park. I see a baseball game going on. I almost fell off my chair. I thought it was Goyim playing. Then I saw there was yarmulkes. It was the first time I ever saw it. What?
Tzitzis are hanging out.
Tzitzis hanging out, yeah. I never saw it. The Maisa, when I grew up, it was also to play ball on Shabbos. Not because of Kader is Muktzah, because playing ball is not something you do on Shabbos. It's zilzal for Shabbos. Same thing as riding a bike.
Could be said it's an oneg Shabbos. You could call it an oneg Shabbos.
Yeah, it's not.
Riding a bike is a different issue of Shem Takin, no?
Who said that?
Isn't that the issue of riding a bike on Shabbos?
No, I mean, it could be it's an issue, but there's no issue in the Poskim. Today we could say anything Shem Yisakin. Right? There's no issue of riding a bike in the Poskim. It could be today, the Poskim say it's a chain can fall off, you'll fix it, so maybe Shem Yisakin. You can say that on a lot of things. I remember there was one of my friends said that when he came to Toronto, a guy whizzed by him on rollerblades with his towels onto his hands like the Shabbos. He couldn't believe what was going on. Rollerblades on Shabbos, but there really is no issue. In these things, there's no issue to do it. It's a sensitivity towards Shabbos. Now, to go ahead and say it's also to play ball, you can't say that. To go ahead and say it's the wrong thing, then you could say. That's what should be done on Shabbos. Now, I said everyone can make their limits, exactly where you want to do it. You're going to have a catch with a kid. In our circles, we never did that. We never heard such a thing. It was a zilzal Shabbos. Shabbos is meant to spend time with the family, to learn, whatever it is. Playing ball is not a Shabbos thing. And we grew up because of that Yerushalmi, because of Irsha Nechrav, because of playing ball on Shabbos. But like I said, it's a gray area, and everyone. If you ask a Paisik, it was also to play ball on Shabbos. No Paisik is going to tell you that it's also. Because there's no issue for it.
So what about this Ashwiya Gumois?
Ashwiya Gumois.
Now after the ball is not muktzah, right? And after you don't deal, and you're past the issue of the Chol, there's still
Ashwiya depends what you're doing. If you're playing basketball, it's not Ashwiya Gumois. Baseball is not Ashwiya Gumois. Soccer, you may have Ashwiya Gumois.
Depends on the floor.
Ashwiya Gumois means smoothing out the.
It depends on the floor.
Yeah, smoothing out the floor.
If you have that tight floor.
Because you smooth out the pitcher's mound and so on.
They smooth out the pitcher's mound.
It's less of an issue, I think, like with basketball, because you're playing on concrete.
Right.
On concrete or asphalt, you're going to play basketball.
Basically, do Ashwiya Gumois.
Yeah.
Now that I see what it is, I mean,
if you do Ashwiya Gumois while you play the ball for shorts, also.
Right.
But here's that talking about when Mishpur says Ashwiya Gumois, right? He brings it down here. Yeah, Mishpur says Ashwiya Gumois. He's saying that you may come to it. Not that if the game includes Ashwiya Gumois to smoothing it out, there's no question about that. It's also for sure you should stay away from it. Yeah, then definitely stay away from it. Yeah, I heard it.
And where you're playing that.
Depends where you're playing. Playing on turf.
What type of surface you're
playing on turf, you don't have the issue. Playing on dirt, you don't have the issue. Nothing good comes out of playing ball on Shabbos. That's the clown.
Your kids let you
Keeps
learn. Your kids let you learn.
Kids have other things to play on Shabbos.
Right?
They have other things to play on Shabbos besides ball.
I'm saying, but they let you learn. Something good comes
The truth is, the kids I remember.
in the backyard.
Yeah. What to say about it?
It's a pretty accepted custom here. You see
I know.
kids playing basketball on
I
the
know.
driveway every
I know here.
every street.
I've seen it here. Yeah. I've seen it here. And
It's a Toronto
I don't know what to say.
It's a Toronto law.
I don't know what to say.
Every Shabbos, that you should have something to do. It's in his introduction.
What?
Sefer Chinuch, or Minchas Chinuch, wrote the Sefer for his child.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they shouldn't
So
play
do it
ball.
Shabbos afternoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it Minchas Chinuch or Sefer Chinuch?
Sefer Chinuch.
Sefer Chinuch.
Sefer Chinuch wrote to his children, to his child.
Yeah, so that's what you should
Yeah.
do Shabbos, not play.
Yeah. He never deprived his kids,
That
right?
was
He never deprived his kids, right? To let them play ball on
that was when
Shabbos.
the balls were
Yeah,
still made
especially
of
Parshas
wood.
Kiseitse, could you imagine?
Yeah, keep them busy for a while.
Yeah, the winter is one
Now
thing.
for
Parshas
those it doesn't
Kiseitse,
make sense.
184 mitzvahs, you know, get there.
You don't know.
Okay, fine. Sif Mem Vav. Also, Lasa is Tachat Atzilov. You know, carry on your armpits, Zero HaTeloim, the seed from the worms. What's it called? Silkworm. She'oitze Hameshi. Also, Betilto, V'oitzu Moiled B'chaymoy. So there's two problems over here. It's Muktzah. And second of all, it could make the worm be created, hatch through that. So body's warm, so it may make the worm hatch. So if you look in the Mishnah Berurah, Sif Katan Kufn Tes, what's the Isser? What's the Leiber Shayidei Achoyim Yitzim HaTeloim, through the heat, the worms come out from the zera, from the seed. Even though you don't mean to do that, it's a situation that it's going to happen, and therefore it's awesome.
Even though it's the law nichale.
The question is, is la nichale or not? It's not la nichale.
You want these words.
You want these ones. Yeah, you want the ones. That's why you want the ones. Okay, next Sif. Sif Mem Zayin. Yesh oisrim betaltel beged shatnez vesh matirim. You have a beged, a suit or something that's shatnez, so you're not allowed to wear it. So some aser, and some are matir. So it says the Magen Avram, beged shatnez, v'yam shashleim v'seif perik alf the beya posach the aser l'talteloi ki im the tzarech gufoy emikoymoy ayin sham. He says you're allowed to move on the tzarech gufoy emikoymoy. There is some clam they could use for something that it's mutter. Mashma the aser l'taltal klal. You're not allowed to be metaltal at all.
But it has no purpose. Or once
So-
it's sharpness,
Right. So
no use.
right. So here the shaila is, according to the Oisrim, a beged shatnez is also to wear. You're not allowed to wear it. So the now, the way it is, has no usage. If it has no usage, so the it should be muktzah machmas gufay.
You want to cover things on that. Yeah.
Covering this?
Yeah, you can't use. The question is, could you use it to cover something if it's meant? So okay, to cover it, we'll see in a second. If you look at the Mishnah Berurah, Sif Kan Kuf Samach, Latalto, Bifnei She'asa L'Leiv Shoy, U'Muktzahu, and it's Muktzah, Ha'fil Tzarech Gufay Mekaymi Aser. Now, we're talking about a beggar over here, obviously, a beggar of shatnez that you plan on fixing. Right? You can't wear it. You're going to fix it, you're going to wear it. Let's say you have a beggar you're not going to wear. It's shatnez, you're never going to wear it. What are you going to do with it? You'll give it away to somebody. So there, it could be it's not muktzah, because you don't have intention to fix it. Or maybe you can use it like to cover something where you'll use it for that. We're talking about a beggar that's meant to wear, and you cannot wear it till it's fixed. So right now there's an Isser in it, so there's no usage of this beged. So that beged is also a tzarech gufa yemekaymai. Why? Because it has no usage.
Can you use muktzah not on yourself? In other words, can you use a muktzah to cover something, a table?
But in Klein, not muktzah. Shabbos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could use Shabbos something else.
To wipe something, to wipe something down.
No, but the problem here is that this you're not going to use for anything else. It doesn't have a usage. You're waiting to fix it. We've had that before with the we have with the basar chai, with the raw meat, right? It's raw, the dogs could eat it. So why is it muktzah? Because you're not going to give it to them. You're going to wait till after Shabbos and then cook it up and use it. Anything you're not going to use it in its state the way it is now has a din muktzah. Even though it's possible to use it for something else, but you don't use it for that usage, therefore it's muktzah.
So you have a suit, it's mashanas.
Right, that's what I said.
Throw it on the.
Right, that was like dumb. We're talking about something that you plan on taking after Shabbos. If you don't plan on taking after Shabbos, then you can use it for any other usage. So we're talking about something you plan on taking after Shabbos, therefore it's muktzah, because the way it is now it has no usage. But the problem is the Magen Avram throws in.
Is suffix shatnez the same halacha?
Why not? You're not going to use it.
Practically, you have a suit that
you haven't checked the Shatnez.
You haven't checked it yet.
So you're not going to wear it.
Right. So you haven't. You're not sure it's shatnez. You don't know. Maybe one way or the other. Most of the
Right.
time, it's
So
not.
you're not going to wear it where it is.
It's in the cupboard now, and you need to move it.
Can't you just rely on Rav?
Yeah.
Because most suits are not shining.
No, but you're not going to wear it. It's not about you can rely on Rav. You're not going to wear this. This thing, you might chatzim adaytchu. You're not going to wear it on Shabbos. This suit you're not going to wear till it's checked.
You've already decided that.
Yeah, you already decided that. You won't wear the suit till it's checked. There's nothing to do with if it's only a suffix.
Right. So
It's
it
muktzah.
would fall into this category.
Yeah, l'chayim. Any suit that that you didn't check for shatnez yet, and you're not going to wear it, and you're not giving it away to anybody, so it's muktzah.
And it's the highest form. It's muktzah machmas gufay.
Muktzah machmas gufay. The problem is the Magen Avram is down over here.
Pants which is oversized, you want to make adjust to them.
No, there's somebody else who wear it. No, pants oversized.
Only you, man, in the house. And you
We'll see. So we'll see in Seif and Aleph, in Seif and Beis, something that's muktzah that you're not wearing it because it's not good for you, is a muktzah for everybody else. We'll see. Let's wait till we get to Seif and Beis. But Shatnez nobody could wear. I'm not giving it to anybody. No one can wear it.
A non-Jew.
Well,
A non-Jew.
you're not giving it to a non-Jew.
You just bought a nice suit.
The problem with the Magen Avram brings down over here from the Amshel Shleima that says that you're allowed to move the tzarech gufa yemekaymai. To also tatlai ki'im the tzarech gufa yemekaymai. That's what it brings down. Which I don't understand. I looked around. No one really asked the kasha on the Magen Avram. Everyone argues on the Magen Avram. And they go at the end of the Magen Avram. The Magen Avram says that from the Aguda in Beya, mashma the asal taltal klal. It's mashma you're not allowed to move it at all. Now, klayim is not called a klisha melachta le'isser. It shouldn't be called a klisha melachta le'isser. What does a klisha melachta le'isser mean? A klisha melachta le'isser means a kli.
I can move it.
Right, but klisha melachta le'isser means
because at a certain point it is a kli, but the baguette is
right, it's never a kli. A klisha melachta le'isser means that during the week you could use it. On Shabbos, I cannot use it because the only way I can use it on Shabbos is through an isser. That's called a klisha melachta le'isser. Klayim, a beggar that has shatnez in it, is not called a klisha melachta le'isser, even though the only way you can put it on is through isser, but you wouldn't call it a klisha melachta le'isser. Because even during the week, you can't wear this beggar, right?
Well, during the week you can fix it.
Yeah, but the way it is now, you can't wear it during the week. The klisha melachta le'isser, what are you saying? It's klisha melachta le'isser because I have to pull out the shatnez and then I could wear it.
Right, so why?
It's not called klisha melachta le'isser. Klisha melachta is a kli it's a kli the way it is already. It's meant to use for isser. A hammer, it's klisha melachta le'isser. It's a kli, it's meant to use to build, which is an isser. Something that has an isser to use it, even during the week, the way it is now, the problem is it's not a kli. This thing, the way it is now, is not a kli. So to call it a kli shemalachta le'isser, I don't understand that. Why is it a kli shemalachta le'isser?
If anything, I'd say that it's a klisha melachta le'hetza, but it's in the issur state right now.
Yeah, so right now it's muktzah machmas gufoy. You cannot do anything with this kli. The Mishnah Berurah totally ignores the Magen Avram. It doesn't even bring the tzad that's a kli shemalachta le'isser. The Mishnah Berurah writes There is a full tzarech gufoy v'kaimay aser. By Mishnah Kuf Sifka and Kuf Samach. There's also the life shay of Muktzahu, a full tzarech gufoy v'kaimay aser El Yerabah Sharach Reinim. He doesn't even bring the Magen Avram's tzad that it's a kli shemalachta le'isr, and therefore it's mutal tzarech gufoy tzarech v'kaimay. Why not? Because the Pasha says it's not a kli shemalachta le'isr. Something that's aser in itself, even during the week, you cannot call that a kli shemalachta le'isr. It's a kasha on the Magen Avram. Why even says that it's called a kli shemalachta le'isr?
Wait, in the Ba'erei Tevi, she brings it though.
He brings what? Magen Avram?
Yeah.
Yeah. He brings it with Shal, yeah.
He brings it.
The question is, why is that? I didn't see a text. I know all the Achreinim, the Shulchan Aruch Harav, the Mishnah Berurah, the Shulchan Aruch Harav speaks to Amafurish. Shulchan Aruch Harav says that it's not called a kli shemalachta le'isr because it's also even during the week. If you have a chance, look in the Shulchan Aruch Harav. He says it out very clearly that a shatnez is not called a kli shemalachta le'isr. Kli shemalachta le'isr is only something that could be used during the week. On Shabbos, I can't use it because the only way I can use it on Shabbos is through doing an isser. But something that's in itself during the week cannot use the way it is now is muktzah machnas gufay. So a shatnez beged will be usher to move. And the person will say the same thing. Anything that has an isser in it, the way it is now, and you cannot use it, it's muktzah. Anything that you cannot use on Shabbos because it has an isser in it, let's say a fruit that didn't take Trumas and Maisris. So right now you cannot use it. And Shabbos you cannot take off Trumas and Maisris. Yeah, you cannot take off Trumas and Maisris. So that clearly the Chayr is Muktzah.
He brings an example here of also Kalim and Tzrichim Hagola or to be.
Right, I was going to say that. You have a spoon that's treif. You treifing it up, you say use it for fleishiks or milchiks that's lying around the house, you have to table it. That clearly is Muktzah Machmas Gufay. It's not a kli shemalachta le'isr. It's a muktzah machmas gufay, because the only way you could use it is after you table it.
You could use it for other things, though. Oh, but you're saying you can't because.
Well, if you just
The mice, you're saying what?
If you just dig a hole.
You use it for something cold.
To dig a hole, you want to dig a hole in the ground.
That's why he says you stop it. The
the halacha is you're allowed to use treif and a kli. You're allowed to use for cold. Even for something cold, not for. We don't use it because of Gzeira, they may use it for hot. From Ikra Adin, that's a shayla also. Something that you're not using because of a chumrah, not because of Ikra Adin. It's become muktzah because of it. Remember the person who speak about this. Something, climb is Issa Daraisa, you can't wear it. Something I'm not using because of a chumrah. For example, a treif and a spoon, which really you're allowed to use for something cold. It's only something hot you're not allowed to use it for. So that's a chumrah. Does it become muktzah because of that? I don't know the person speak about it. I don't remember how to come out with it.
So let me ask you a practical shadow, make it to me. So I bought a suit right before I became a noble. Never wore this suit.
Yeah.
That suit now for a year is muktzah for me?
I want to say it's muktzah for you, no. I want to say it's muktzah. Not to wear a new suit that's a
Because
posh.
said because it's not a halacha, it's more of a.
You know, wear new clothing is because it makes shachiana. Today's a question. It's a new suit called davar chashav or not. And anyway, we'll see later on. Anybody else could wear it.
Oh, is that the criteria?
Anybody else could wear it. So we'll see later on if something that's muktzah to you, the owner, because of an isser, but everybody else could wear it. Is that called muktzah or not?
You made a neder.
So my neder. We'll see later on. If somebody's a neder and it's also to him, so then it's not muktzah. We'll see. We'll see in the last sif here. So anything that's also just to you because of an isser, not to everybody, then it's not muktzah. So here also, the suit you could give somebody else to wear. Okay, sif memches. Mutter l'taltel manipa b'Shabbos lavrich hazvuvim you're allowed to be metalto a fan to chase away the flies.
So there's your dust question on the chair.
Why?
Could you use this halacha to basically let's say to use a fan to take away dust of a book?
No, it's not for dust. It's for
No. It's a minifa. You can use a minifa.
No, fans for
personal use.
You're saying flies are mukta. So how you allowed to shoo them away? Yeah, that's not called tiltul.
No, so I'm saying, I'm talking about many, but many also
about blowing.
About the instead of
Right, blowing.
Use
Use a fan.
Fan to do it.
Fan to fan away.
Maybe in Haram. Yeah, we can do that.
So you're allowed to use a fan, but not your fingers? Is that the idea?
Fingers for what?
Like, let's say a fly's on you and you want to shoot it away. Let's say.
Oh, flies on you, you like touch them and go like this.
Flies on your food. You want to chase it
You
away.
go higher.
This
If
question.
you go a little higher, you can do it, for sure.
You
Not
cannot
touching
apply
it.
the
You're not
nefiyah.
allowed to touch it. You're not allowed.
You're not allowed to touch it.
They will not let you
The
touch
fish is
it.
blown, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they will not let
No,
you
but
touch it.
practically, flies on your food. You want to chase it
You're allowed to
away.
touch it. You have to make sure when you shoo the fly away, you have to make sure you don't touch the fly.
So what's the chiddush of doing a fan? If you
No,
can-
so the fan, the chiddush over here, that's the question. What's the chiddush over here? They allow you to use a fan to be avrich hazvuvim. The Mishnah Berurah says over here, if you look at the Mishnah Berurah Sif Kaf Samach Beis, he says, what's the chiddush of avrich hazvuvim? Kachol kli shemalachta le'iser, the mutal atalpel et sarkufay, v'ayma sheksafta le'el b'sif chav gimel. Now, why is this fan called a kli shemalachta le'iser? What are you doing? So the person speak out of here, what it means is, it's a fly swatter. It's meant to kill the fly. During the week you use it, you'll kill the fly. On Shabbos, so it's a kli shemalachta le'iser. It's meant to kill the fly. On Shabbos, you're using it just to be mavriach at a certain end of the way. So the chiddush is that
It's to begin
It's
with.
not talking about a
It's muktzah.
fan.
Right. So that's I think the person speaking out over here in this halacha, that what's the chiddush of avrich hazuvim? Why is it called a kli shemalachta le'iser? What's the isser over here? Swatting away flies is a problem? There's no isser in it.
There's no.
So they say
Gemara sign, if you're using something when somebody sees you with this thing.
No. So they say that what it means over here is it's a fly swatter, that during the week you kill the fly with it. On Shabbos you're allowed to use that kli shemalachta le'iser to chase it away. But otherwise, what's the chiddush over here? Seif ayin hey, mechabdoi shemechabdim hemakarka mutal taltalam, brooms that you use to clean up the house, mutal taltalam. Says the Magen Avraham over here, mechabdois, v'man da'ama also lechaber the bayis ha-mekli shemalachta le'iser. So the whole shaila, not here, it's in Siman Shin Lamed Ches. If you're allowed to sweep on Shabbos, so it's a machlokes over there if you're allowed to sweep on Shabbos or not.
Depends the karka.
It depends if it's a smooth karka, if it's tiled floors or not tiled floors.
Originally,
The original chashav was shvei gumos. You're smoothing out the karka and being isser. So in today's houses you're allowed to sweep. There's no issue to sweep in today's houses because everything is tiled. There's no gzeira even. So it's mutter. So a broom today is not even a kli shemalachta le'iser.
Right.
A broom today is a kli shemalachta leheter, so there's no problem to move a broom on Shabbos.
Baruch Hashem.
If you look in Siv Kan Kuf Samach Gimel, the Mishnah Berurah mutal taltalam, afil mechamal etzel. Why? V'mechaber azal l'shitasai the sfirulei the mutal lechaber karka merutza. If you're allowed to sweep karka that's tiled.
Yeah.
Ipkin u'bechlak kli shemalachta leheter. Al timach pasuk in Masham. That full of merutzef aser, even the tiled floors are aser. Imkein ubechlal kli shemalachta le'iser, ve'en l'taltalai ki im l'tzar kufay m'kaimai. So we'll see when we get to this. There's a machlekes mechaber and Ramah. But there, the Ramah is machmer. He says you cannot sweep even tiled floors. But there he's talking about a place where there is floors that are not tiled. There are floors that are not tiled. If there's a gzeira, there's an isser, even on tiled floors, not to do it. I think today, if I remember correctly, everybody is matter to sweep floors on Shabbos, because today there are no floors that aren't tiled. No one sweeps floors that aren't tiled.
Yeah.
You don't find it
much
b'chal.
anymore.
Well, think of the broom anyway, which they used to use in order to do the karkaveri, isn't that the bristles that we have today? Then it used to be hard, like wooden kind of things, wooden kind of spikes, which used to have in order to
And there was and
yeah. Right. So today it's more like its bristles have been.
Correct. Today I think my old place I'm asking a matter to sweep houses, indoors. Outdoors maybe something else. Maybe a shvui gumas in your backyard. You may have a problem with the shvui gumas.
You mean your patio? So you have a patio.
The patio
but then again, maybe there the Rama would say no because in fact you go off the patio.
No, not such example. Not such example. But outdoor brooms are a different shaila. Outdoor brooms could be that shvui gumas sweeping inside. The chayr is mutter. If it's mutter, then a broom is a kli shamlach l'heter. Therefore, no problem.
Sweeping muktzah doesn't change that.
What do you mean?
Because the crumbs we already learned are muktzah.
Yeah, it's okay.
The same way we said that you can use something to get the crumbs off the table because it becomes an extension of your yad.
Yeah, but the matter is sweep. The matter is sweep. Sweeping is mutter on Shabbos.
So you can sweep leaves, for example.
Outdoors?
Like one from your patio.
No, so that's a question. Outdoors may be a shvui gumas if it's not tiled.
No, okay. But on a tile.
Yeah, yeah. You can do leaves, yeah. Yesif nun. Harashba matter l'talto ha'istru loy b'Shabbos chen sifrei ha'chachma l'dasurab me'esh l'stapik v'davar. We had a machlokes in Shin Zayin, I think it was, whether you're allowed to. The Rambam holds on Shabbos, you're not allowed to even look at the Sifrei Chachma. Even science books are also on Shabbos. You have to just sit and learn on Shabbos. There's the Mechaber brings out both shittas over there. The Mechaber is makel to use Sifrei Chachma on Shabbos. So therefore, like the Rashba, therefore, if you hold it's mutter to read them on Shabbos, it's different than on Muktzah. Anything that's also to read on Shabbos is Muktzah. Sifrei Chachma, which is mutter to read on Shabbos, then it's mutter. Now, says the Magen Avram Ayin Vav, Istorla for Kli Shechayzim by Kechavim. It's a Kli like a telescope. Like the Zina Shem Yisalach Luchais, V'yachziram, the Malemalan Shu Aser. The Vaishlam B'mita Refuya. So it says, we don't make exer, you may take out the lens and put it back in, because who said that itself is Aser? It's Mita Refuya means a bed that's, when you put it together, it's not held strong together, so therefore there's no Issa to put it together. Something that's held strong, then when you put it together, it's awesome. So the telescope, it seems like in those days, the lenses that would go in and out weren't in strong, so there won't be an issue to put it in Bechlal, to make a gzeir, not to use it, because if you put the lens in, says the Magen Avram, who says it's also Bechlal? If you do it chazak, but if you do it weak, it's not a problem. So therefore, he says it's mutter. Today's telescopes, I don't think there's lenses that come in and out. It just has the thing you could adjust it. And the chayr, it's mutter. I think all places are masking to use telescopes today on Shabbos.
Is mitzvah refuya the heter for using to open a folding chair on Shabbos?
No. You have to come on to that, the folding chair Shabbos. Folding chair, you have to come on to mitzvah refuya. A folding chair.
I thought it was the.
No, a folding chair is together. It's on a hinge. You're not doing anything. Mitzvah refuya means you have to put something together.
Pieces. It's assembling pieces.
A table with leaves in, maybe that would be more like a mitzvah refuya, because you're adding it. But something that's on a hinge.
So what's so just to explain this mitzvah refuya. So in other words, it's some weak construction that
mitzvah refuya is an example. They used to have the cribs before they had the packing place. They used to have the porter cribs. Remember those?
Oh yeah.
The porter cribs.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So the porter cribs, the question was called a mitzvah refuya or not. What you do is you open it up and you put that big piece of wood in the bottom, right? It would just lean.
Right.
So other person that's called a mitzvah refuya, because even though you're making a crib on Shabbos, but it's not put together well. It's put together, you can take it apart easily.
How is that different than a folding chair?
A folding chair, you're not putting anything together. It's unhinged, like opening a door on Shabbos.
It's even more easy to do.
It's more mutter. A folding chair is a different heter because you're not doing anything really.
But a table with leaves is mutter because of mitzvah refuya.
It could be. Could be depends because if you lock them in,
No, there's not a lot, just.
lock them, yeah, it could be a smooth. Yeah, could be smooth. That could be what's going to be for you.
And the pack and play would be in the same.
The pack and play is the same thing as a folding chair. The pack and play is just, it's not a hinge. No, the porter cribs. Porter cribs. Yeah, there used to be something called porter crib. Pack and play, those things, they on a hinge basically. Those closers, and you put it in a bag, right? Today they don't have it in porter cribs. They have those things, everything's hinged together. Just push it down and it opens up.
Yeah. That's not what you're referring to.
It's not meant to free. It's all together. It's like a folding chair.
Yeah, that is the folding chair.
Yeah, it's all together. Porter cribs it would come apart.
Yeah, it would make it small and the whole.
It would come apart. You take out the bottom, right, and then the whole thing would come apart. Then you would tighten at the ends.
Yes.
It was a whole different thing, a porter crib. You have to put it together.
Right.
Something you have to put together is a mitzvah for you. Anything that's on a hinge is not included in the mitzvah for you. So this Ishtralov, that's why I'm saying the ones that we have today, that all you do is tighten and loosen it.
Yes.
That's not, the adjusting it is not a mitzvah for you because it's already together.
Right.
If you have to put the lens in, then it'll be something else. That's called a mitzvah for you. You're putting something in that wasn't there before. Anything on a hinge that's put together, you're just loosening it, whatever, you're adjusting the lens, that's not included in the mitzvah for you. Yes, the topic says the Magen Avraham, Ein Ches, the dome of the sorry, it's the next Seif. Fine, so that is what the science books, where anything you're not allowed to read on Shabbos could have a din muktzah. Anything you're not allowed to read on Shabbos may have a din muktzah. That's why there's things with advertisements in them. They're only advertisements, l'cher is muktzah, and they have these things they give out. Flyers and stuff like that, those things are muktzah on Shabbos.
Smart shopper.
The what?
Smart shopper.
Yeah, the shoppers guys or the link, whatever they give out, that's all, community link, right? It's all advertisements, the whole thing. Even though you can find maybe one time there's a page about something about the COR or whatever, the kashrus, but no one looks at that even. But it's basically meant to advertisements. The chayre should be muktzah on Shabbos. Anything you can read on Shabbos is muktzah. Okay, Sifn and Aleph. Masha Moira al Shoyes. Something that tells you the time. Shekairin, Alvazoiv, Vein Shehu Shel Chayil, Vein Shehu Shel Min Acher, Yesh Lestapik and Mutal Taltalai. So Suffolk, if you could use it on Shabbos. Now, this thing basically is something that measures the time.
An hourglass. It's
like
making the X.
Right, the things, this have the boggle games, the timers. Yeah, those timers. So those timers are measuring time. Now, measuring time, the issue would be, medida, measuring is asr. So the question is measuring time called a measuring or not? Is measuring time called measuring? So that's the machlokes over here. Does measuring time have a chshivas of measuring, therefore it's asr?
Why is this in the Parsha of Muktzah?
I mean, the question is a mutal taltaloi, but the question is a mutal taltaloi. The question is a mutal taltaloi or not?
Is it also?
But definitely not allowed to use it on Shabbos. You're definitely not allowed to use it on Shabbos.
So what about a watch? A watch is it a measuring time?
No, see, a watch is mutal. See in a second why.
Oh, here it is.
No, everyone agrees. Yeah, good question, but I think everyone agrees. Everyone agrees they cannot use it on Shabbos. The question is only if it's muktzah on Shabbos or not. If it's enough to make a muktzah.
So I had this happen yesterday. My son has a pair of cufflinks that are egg timers.
That what?
The cufflinks are egg timers.
There's sand in them?
There's sand in them. We have these tchotchkes at the store. So we have all these.
Yeah, but no one uses it. It's not really meant to be a timer.
In fact, the sand doesn't even go through to the other end. It just sort of goes from top to the bottom. It lasts about 3 seconds.
Okay, so it's not a time really. Yeah, it's not time really.
So we know that
Not
it's
meant for
3
time.
seconds, so that's...
The whole issa being metaltalid. The whole issa being metaltalid is not so simple. It's also to be metaltalid, and then you're not using it. And the whole issa of doing a bechlal is not so partial. That's also to do it. Because the whole issa would be that's medida. You're measuring time is a shaila if it's also or not. So if you look in the Magen Avraham, yesterday's topic, the domi lemedidas hazman, or medidas hatzel, or klisha mlachta le'issa. It's like measuring time, and measuring time could be it's an issa of measuring. We're talking about having medidas on mitzvah. Maybe you can say it's medidas on mitzvah. Shaloimid al yadai, the shari, you're learning through it, and it's mutter. Shari hacha da medida ain't a mitzvah. We had before. The medida shal mitzvah is mutter. You're allowed to measure a mikveh to see if it has a bar mitzvah on it. You're allowed to take the measurement of a chayli to see if it's sick or not. Medida shal mitzvah we saw was mutter. This should also be